Yes.
Hey, how you going?
How are you, sir?
I am well. How are
I'm
you?
4 minutes early.
That's okay. I just logged in myself. How you going?
Take some time. Take some time and get ready.
No, I'm all good, man. All good to go. You?
Oh, yeah. Fantastic.
Oh, good to talk to you. Look,
Good
by
to,
the
good to-
Australian tour just got announced. By the time you come here, which is in April 2024, it's 10 years by my calculation since you came here last.
We did Soundwave.
Yeah,
Is that 10
2014.
years?
Yeah.
14. Wow, 10. Time is just flying.
Where the
It is
fuck has 10
just
years gone?
flying by.
What are your
Uh,
memories? Do you remember anything of
yeah,
that? What
I
are your
love.
memories?
I saw a lot of airports.
Yeah,
I saw a lot of airplanes. I saw amazing crowds. You know what? I saw amazing crowds. I saw a fantastic bunch of people, and they were welcoming, and it was beautiful. And Sydney was beautiful, and the outback and the harbors of Perth and Melbourne and Brisbane and just absolutely fantastic. Just I love Australia. Love it.
the latest album, The Algorithm, just came out.
Yes.
How's that
Mhm.
going for you?
It's fantastic. It hasn't gotten one bad review.
Good.
It has literally come out, and it is. People are saying it's the best thing I've done in 20 years, and I would happen to agree. I love The Trouble with Angels and The Sun Comes Out Tonight and Crazy Eyes. But there's something about this record that reminds me of Title of Record or The Amalgamut or Short Bus, and I think it fires on all cylinders, and I think it's 11 songs that are amazing, and I'm really proud of it.
The industry's a lot different these days from when you
Yes,
started out as regard
yes,
to, not that many people go out and buy a record anymore or a
yeah,
CD.
yeah.
Um, it's all streamed. How's that affected you? What's your view on it? And how do you sort of respond to that?
The industry has really just basically collapsed, and if you're Taylor Swift, you're kicking ass.
Yeah.
You're doing good. If you're not Taylor Swift, you're not doing too good. Um, yeah, yeah. And the record budget for this record was like $20,000.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and the amalgamut cost like 600,000 when we did it, and it was 10 years, 20 years apart.
Yeah.
So there is no money. You're busting your ass because you love it.
Hmm.
You're busting your ass. I wrote the record, The Algorithm, because I loved it. It's not something that I see as a money making machine.
Hmm.
I wanted to give new music to the world, and I'm doing that. If I can make a little bit of money, that'd be great. But that's the industry. Rock is dead. You know what I mean? Rock is in a small, little, tight little place. Pop is huge. TikTok is huge
Hmm.
for making it. I have a friend who's on tour with the band, and I said, "Well, who is this guy? I've never heard of him." Well, he's big on TikTok. Oh,
Yeah.
what is that? Clips of him playing? Like I don't. So I don't know. I hate to sound like I'm old or pessimistic, but it ain't like the good old days, baby
No.
pop. Like it's Hey Man, Nice Shot came out on the Demon Knight soundtrack, and because the song was so strong, it was played by a DJ in Colorado Springs, that DJ put it on the air at 2 in the morning when the clubs are letting out around, in Colorado Springs,
Hmm.
and the phones went crazy. Who is that? That sounds great. Who is that? Blah, 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 blah. And the song went viral in radio and was just a hit and
Hmm.
became a massive hit, like the way Elvis Presley made it. You know what I mean? He was heard once and it was picked up immediately and he was huge. Like, you know what I mean? And
Hmm.
there's it's different now. It's not like if you go to radio and you promote a song and you work on it and you work it at radio, it necessarily picks up and it just becomes huge. It's not like that anymore. It's like
Hmm.
a guy can fart on TikTok and now he's the biggest fucking thing in music. I mean, I just don't get it. Like
Nah,
it's weird.
I'm
And
with you. I don't get.
I
I
have
don't get it
friends
either.
that play the game, the TikTok game.
Yeah.
And they're putting their heart and soul into it and they're busting their ass and they're working on it. And like they're good, they're like, fuck, it's not working. You know, it's so wild. Like they're making TikTok videos every day and they're like really nice looking videos and it's them playing and everything and they're singing and and like you've got to somehow make it on TikTok. I don't know what it is.
Kids
Yeah.
today, they're different, man.
Yeah. Wild.
Um, Now bands are having to get out on the road a lot more. Well,
Great.
relying on getting out on the road a lot more,
Yeah.
selling t-shirts, selling CDs, vinyl
Hmm.
at the stand, shaking hands,
Yeah.
all that sort of thing. How's that going?
Merch is good. We're
Mm.
doing pretty good. We were just on tour with Rob Zombie and Alice Cooper, and we played in front of 12,000 people a night on that tour with Alice Cooper and Ministry. So Rob Zombie, Alice Cooper and Ministry, and then we opened up the show, and it was great. And we had VIP guests and all that kind of stuff, and our merch was selling.
Mm.
And so we're doing good on that end.
Have you been affected by, like when you're on tour for yourself, maybe venues taking a cut of merch? Have you been affected by that?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I'm so like dedicated to like just having a great show
Yeah,
that like I don't necessarily keep up with every single detail of the business because it will drive you crazy.
yeah, yeah.
Like, you know
I
what I mean?
imagine it
Like
would.
it will
Yeah,
drive you crazy. Like I asked my manager, how's the record doing? Is there some kind of way to, on TikTok, it says it's been listened to, or not TikTok, on Spotify, it's been listened to 1.5 million, like 2 million times. So I guess that's good.
mm,
Um, it's being played, it's being spun out there in the world. People are listening to it. I know that we've had issues with, um, you know, supply chain issues with the record just because it's hard to move stuff around the world, especially
mm,
after the
mm.
pandemic. But now that we have records in stores and in online, available online, we'll see how it sells and stuff like that. But again, I don't really like to spend too much time on that because again, it's like it's so much easier to go, hey Rich, the stage is right here. All you have to do is get up on there and sing and then I sing and then I lose myself in the performance and I have a
Yeah,
wonderful time. And like that's the kind of the payoff. Like it's basically getting back to basics. Like what are
yeah,
you in
yeah,
music for? I did not get into music to like get fucking rich, dude.
yeah,
Or fuck girls all the time, fucking the chicks, man. I didn't get into music for that. I got into music because I wanted to touch people's hearts. I wanted to touch people's hearts the way that Bono grabbed me when I was a little kid and sad, and Joe Strummer, the way Joe Strummer said, let's fight for our rights, and Al Jorgensen and Nivek Ogre. Those are the guys that like they're not doing it because it's all about the cash. They're doing it because they have a message and they believe in it. And that's to me like the reason why I'm in.
Mm. You mentioned touching people's souls.
Hmm.
Do you ever read comments on your YouTube clips?
Uh, I try not to. Why are they bad?
No, quite the contrary, actually. I was on, this is just from the comments on Take a Picture, right?
Hmm.
I discovered this song in 2006. Life threatening cancer, a divorce, two scared kids, and Richard Patrick in my headphones. I'm still here and I still love this song,
Wow.
right?
That's it.
I'm 76 and this song kicks ass. I can run like I could when I was 24 when I hear this song.
That's
I
amazing.
heard this song. I haven't finished. I heard
Wow.
this song after being 3 weeks in the hospital in a very critical condition. Just suited perfectly. It changed the way I see life. Enjoy life, people.
Wow. That's it.
Mm. And there's plenty more. There's
Yeah.
plenty more like that. I woke up from being in a medically induced coma a couple of weeks ago, and this song was in my head non-stop. I hadn't heard it in years, but as soon as I had the strength, I came to YouTube to find it, and here I am now.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
Mm,
That's it. That's why I got into music.
there you go, right there. If you're
Jammed
ever
up.
feeling down,
Yeah.
search, take a picture on YouTube and read some comments. You'll feel much better about yourself.
Yeah. And you know the amazing thing is I sang that song uh every night the most passionately I could possibly sing
Yeah.
was on this last tour. And it got great response from the crowd and
Mm,
I love that song. That song changed my life when I wrote it. And it was
what?
coming from a very scary place.
Mm,
I
mm,
wrote it when I was addicted to drugs and alcohol. And I couldn't remember anything. Take my picture because I won't remember was about
yeah.
being high all the time and not remembering anything because my brain was being punched by the drugs I was on. And I remember the record company being like, "Are you sure, Rich?
Mm,
This is so pop and this is so happy and your heavy metal fans might feel alienated." And I'm like, that's again, why am I in music?
mm,
I'm in music because I want to fucking say something. It's because the song sounds like the way drugs and alcohol make me feel. And the lyrics are about the reality of me being sucked into this and
mm,
like how I'm supposed to deal with my father when I see him when I'm wasted. You know what I mean? Like, hey dad, what do you think about your son now? Like, and
mm,
so
mm,
it's people hear the song and they know that I'm coming from a certain point of view, but they apply their lives to it
mm.
and it gives them a new meaning. The song it has a whole new meaning for them. So more power to them. And again, you know, what you just read is just astounding. That's it. I've
Mm.
left my mark, and
Yeah.
I love I love leaving my mark in such a way that I can still kind of go around the world and do it. And if people want to hear the song live, that's awesome too. You know what I mean? Like, of course, I'm gonna still do it. Mick Jagger's 80. You know what I mean? Mick Jagger's fucking 80. Let him. He's the one who's doing it. He's the one letting us know. He's the trailblazer. The Rolling Stones are the trailblazers. They're the ones saying you can do it until you die. You know what I mean? Until you're old as shit. And I love that. That's amazing.
Excellent. Speaking about still being able to travel around the world and do it, April 2024, 5 gigs in Australia. You're hitting us: Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, Adelaide, Perth. It's good to see Perth over there getting a gig because they're a long way away. Um,
Well, I've heard that too, I made sure that we got to Perth. Like I was excited we went to Perth. Yeah.
so you're coming here to Adelaide on the 9th, playing at the Gov, which will be an excellent venue.
Hmm.
for filter. Let me tell you that right now. I see one free day in there. Do you get much time on tour these days
There's
on
going to be
flying
one.
tours like this?
There's going to be one free day in that whole thing. I was hoping there'd be a couple more,
Well,
but
you might have time at the beginning and the end, but you're doing
right
the
now.
5th, 6th, 7th, ninth, and 10th. So
So it's on. So I'm going to
it's
bring
on.
my steroids in case I get sick. That's for sure. Because you gotta bail yourself out medically if you're gonna if I get hoarse. You know what I mean? You gotta. Well, steroids will make your voice just it gets rid of any inflammation, and you just become the greatest, most amazing singer on planet Earth. But I never use them because it has side effects that hurt you. You might hurt your liver a little bit or your kidneys. But yeah, I plan on just delivering the goods. If I can see a bit of wherever I'm at, I'm gonna try and see it during the day. Um, I'll take a little trip around the community and hopefully, maybe some fans will show up and they'll give me a ride around town. Um, I've spent enough time in Australia that I love it and it's beautiful. And like I said, maybe I'll see you soon.
Looking back over your time in music, what's one time where you've looked back on it and gone, holy crap, did that just happen? Has there been a moment like that? Or what is the one moment that stands out?
Holy crap, that just happened. I think when my platinum record showed up for Short Bus, or hearing "Hey Man, Nice Shot" on the radio for the first time. That was like I did it
Yeah.
because I had left a very, very, very successful band,
Mm, mm.
Nine Inch Nails, and I really hoped that I was going to make it again in Filter and kind of on my own terms. Like I didn't want to just be like, oh, the guy from Nine Inch Nails has a new record
Mm.
and a new band. It's called Filter. I wanted it to be this guy wrote a badass song and it became a huge hit. And that's what Take a Picture was. So when I finally heard it on the way home, I heard it on WMMS on the way home from mixing Short Bus in Michigan. I got close enough to Cleveland that I could hear it, and they said, "Okay, the number fifth song today is Hey Man, Nice Shot by Filter." And it was just like, what? The record isn't even done, and like it's already a huge hit
Mm.
because of the soundtrack, the Tales of the Crypt. So that was a huge, big, life-affirming moment for me.
What's the funniest thing that's happened on tour? I get some pretty interesting answers to that question when I ask.
Oh man, I gotta think of something. Um, it's the funniest thing that happened on tour. Um, uh, th-
Here we go.
there
Here we
was
go.
there was there was a kid named Tim who was in our band for a few minutes. He was the bass player like maybe 7, 8 years ago. And Tim got really drunk and left his cell phone on the bus
Oh no.
and sold his jacket for $100 to someone so he could drink because he blew through his money. He was an alcoholic. He's bit of a drinker. I'll just say that. And he missed bus call, which was at like 5 a.m. Our bus drive was a long drive. Our bus call was at 5 a.m. So he missed the bus call, left his cell phone, sold his jacket for $100, put the $100 bill in his pocket. And I remember because I watched him do it. And I said later on, it comes into play. But he literally did not make bus calls. So we called him from our cell phones, and we heard his cell phone ringing in his bunk. And it was like, oh my God, Tim missed his bus call. Well, it turns out we went on the internet. We went onto Facebook, and he was at the hotel on his Facebook account going, "Hey guys, you left me. You oil spotted me in Odessa, Texas, and please come back and get me." And it was like, bro, uh we just drove 600 miles to the next venue, which is in Austin. You're gonna have to figure out a way to get here. So he wanted to fly, and flights were like $1,000. And it was like, are you kidding? Dude, you're the one who did this. Figure out a way and get up here to Austin. So he got on the Greyhound bus, and he got into the back of the bus and drove for 12 hours to the show that night, which we were going on at like 9 o'clock. He got onto a bus, and literally he made it to the gig, and he shows up and he's freezing because he doesn't have a jacket.
Hmm.
And he's like, but before that, he goes, Rich, I don't have any money. I don't have my wallet. He didn't have his wallet. He didn't have anything. And he's like, how am I going to get on a Greyhound bus? I said, there's $100 bill in your front right pocket. And he goes, how did you know that? And literally we saw like a Family Guy the day later, like, and it was what's his name? What's the little baby's name?
Stewie?
On Chewy, yeah. Stewie.
Yeah.
And Stewie's like, I sold my jacket for a grilled cheese. Like, he's like, remember that time you went to something on acid? I'll sell you my clothes for a grilled cheese sandwich. And it was just anytime I could. And Odessa, like, it was just the funniest thing in the world. This poor kid, just like not living his best life.
But what a story to tell.
Yeah. There was another story. There's a Nine Inch Nails story. We literally played a sold out concert in a bar in Pittsburgh, and Trent thought it was funny to go up to people and hit their Bud Light bottle, and it would burst out the bottom of the other person's bottled beer. Like if you hit it just right, it'll blow out the bottom of your beer.
Yeah.
So he thought it was funny to do that to me, and like I thought it was funny to do it to him, and we were doing it to just random people, like walking up to him and just hitting their Bud Lights. Well, the security guards ended up throwing us out of the club that we were in. And there's Trent and I in the pavement outside in the alleyway, like laying there, just laughing our asses off, drunk as hell, like, just thinking it was the funniest thing in the world. We just sold out this club, and then we got kicked out of it that night, like literally just hours later, because we were too drunk and disorderly. I mean, we did that in Nine Inch Nails. We were like that every night. It was hysterical.
Sold out, thrown out.
Sold out, thrown out. Exactly.
Wow. Can I get you to do one thing for me?
Sure.
And that's give us the horns, if you don't mind, up in the camera. Excellent. Thanks. Hey, man, thanks so much for having a chat. Looking forward to April. You're here, 5 shows, you're bringing it. Can't wait to see you then. Thanks for taking the time to have a chat to me today.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. Filter.
Hey, thanks, man. We'll see you then.
You got it, brother. See ya.